2004 full product line guide. So I don't think I have the price list for this one. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I do, I don't. Nope, I don't. So sometimes I would write it in the thing. So this is the newer series, or I should say, you know, whatever the latest series. But this is, you know, from 2004. There we go. Those are better pictures of the Storm. And then dual 4, quad 1. All those guys. Oh, it was, did I say, I think I said it. I can't remember if I said it in the thing, but I picked it up from when I was talking to Larry about it. And there was another guy there, rep, that used to work at Rockford. And at the time, the Storm woofer was a better performer than even the, and then even the T2, it had more excursion because it used a bigger spider. It used a 10-inch spider while the T2 uses a 9-inch spider. But I can't remember when, that was about the right time. They came out with the T2, so that was the top-end woofer. So, but it was, again, it was kind of a, I don't want to say it was a joke, but you got to remember, I was just talking to somebody about, they said, how come you don't use 2 spiders when most of the industry does? And I was like, well, first of all, most of the industry does not, but they used to. And the reason why that is because it's sort of like passed along, it's legacy misinformation. So it's misinformation from a long time ago where they didn't want to use just one spider because it made it too floppy. So then they used 2 spiders, and you can see this in, what's his name, Edward, I forget. The only thing I can remember, it's the guy that plays something audio. I'll put a link to him in the description. I get super annoyed with him. I think he's a tool. Ed something or whatever. Anyway, he drives an HHR. Like, what a piece of shit. So, but anyways, the idea is that it creates less rocking, which is not true. And also, like, 2 spiders are better than 1. Not true. It depends on, there's so many more other factors that it depends on. So it's kind of it's misinformation. But I was telling him, I said, well, you got to understand their perspective, meaning Rockford's perspective as far as an engineering goal goes. They don't want the woofer to last forever. They want it to last a year and a month. That's it. So that when it dies or when you kill it, you got to buy another one. That's their job. Their job is to get as much money out of you as possible while giving you the least amount of shit. So there's a exploded view of it. 2 spiders, 1, 2, and a spacer. So really on this one, the way that I do it is I use the spacer and then you just use the top spider only. And that gives you a little more down travel, which is the problem with this frame, is that there's not enough downstroke of where the position of the spider is. So, and if you remember back on the X1 series, if you open those up, the spiders that they used were really soft. They used 2 of them, but the bottom spider would hit the top of the top plate. And the way that T.C.O.Z got around that, or the way that T.C.O.Z fixed it, again, it's just a Band-Aid. It's not a real engineering fix. Is he would put some Kapton on the lip so that it was okay to hit, but it wouldn't arc. Of course, that wears off over time because it's just Kapton tape, and it's not a great fix, but that's what he did. So no judgment. I mean, sometimes you got to make lemons out of, or turn lemons into lemonade. So, wow, what is that? Is that the Storm component technology? Oh, that was really good. Looks like a big magnet anyway on there. Not that it's any better. And I think these were convertibles. No, I think they're just components. Really big crossover. It looks like an amplifier, but it's just a crossover. Again, completely unnecessary. Kind of dumb. Oh, that was a good thing, though, that they had cast baskets. Let's see, titanium cone, edge wound, doesn't matter. Flat spider, doesn't matter. Butyl surround, that's good. Billet aluminum face plug, whatever. 25 millimeter titanium dome, whatever. Butyl rubber surround on the titanium dome, that's good. High temp neodymium magnet. I don't know about high temp. Aluminum housing, removable EQ lens. I don't know about that. Cast aluminum housing, 0 crosstalk layout. Well, that should be a given. That's what I was talking about when you know, I think around this time I was looking at some Morel components, and they still had the inductors on the same plane. Like, you idiots. That's like rule number 1 of passive crossover design. Don't do that. And they were doing it. So it just tells you how much they care. They don't. And a lot of these companies, you know, they're not shy about just taking all your money and selling you a bunch of shit. Actual power versus rated power. It just shows they're conservatively rated. That's all. And then, well, I like that they added this. This is kind of cute. This is where they put the magnet inside the frame. Not that that makes it any better. It's not really great for, you know, aftermarket modification, because it limits the size of the magnet that you can put on it. So even these are better. If, like, you drop the magnet or whatever and you want to replace it, you can still use the frame over again. I think on these they use screws, but some of the Rockford stuff is riveted. And when the older Rockford stuff, I should say, was riveted to the top plate, and, you know, that, you just might as well throw that fucking woofer in the trash. So, the Bolt series, also known as the Fast and the Furious series. I think they just made them a different color. I don't even remember what color. See, that looks cool, doesn't it? Some sort of test rig with lasers, I guess. I don't know. And that's when they came out with the gunmetal. This is called the gunmetal finish. I think is that turbo? What is that? I don't know. I'm not a car guy. The dual twisted pair. Again. Yeah, and again, don't believe Tony Baloney about the difference between coaxial versus twisted pair. It's fucking wire. It doesn't matter. Now, there are certain properties when you hit about 100 meters that some types are susceptible to certain types of noise. But for you guys, everything is under 25 feet. It doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't fucking matter. It just doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter. See, it's like you're going to get a piercing in your scrotum with a battery terminal. So that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. And then these are some of the same pictures showing you what is full specification wire. And again, they were big on that too, because at the time everybody was moving towards CCA, and they wanted to show that they were better than that. But the problem is, it's like when copper, the same size copper has twice the power handling, right? That's great. But when it's 3 times the price, that sort of shoots yourself in the foot. Then you're like, well, then I might as well buy 2 or 3 runs of aluminum because it's a better deal. See, so you can't charge too much for copper. There's the pants or the boots. And there was somebody was clearing out over in West Phoenix. Is this the 10 gauge? I think I got the 12 gauge. It was 10 gauge and 16 gauge. They had like a pallet of these spools, man, and they were giving them away for like $20. So I forget the website that I was, some sort of auction site. It wasn't eBay, or sometimes especially when you get somebody local on eBay and you find out the source, then you can just go down there and just make them a bid, you know, whatever. It's like a pawn shop or somebody that bought a shit ton from somebody that either stole it from Lightning or bought a whole pallet, or some sort of employee or something like that. So, of course, I don't encourage crime, but crime does happen. So, oh, it's like somebody jizzed all up on this fucking magazine. Pretty typical stuff. That's kind of cute. The round one. And then, of course, the square wire stuff. And again, a lot of this stuff is still made. I liked these. These were kind of good. There's a little crimp type. Just really affordable. These are good too. If you don't know, you want to cut right there. And then that gives you, either way you can do it. But this is the same as this, but this you can put anywhere. This one is kind of weird because this one is red, and then like if your wire is blue, then you got a big butt connector in between. And so it's kind of dumb, because then you're with double butt connectors, and then this just puts the crimp, less crimps is better. So that's why I liked it. But of course it's in weird translucent yellow, which for the most part doesn't make sense. Oh, this is cute. Look at that. It's an offset reducer or double upper 4 or 8 gauge. So, of course, you guys are all like, Jim's Machine Works, I need 4 0 gauge double aught. It needs to go to my amp. And it's like, you're an idiot. So I'm sorry you don't know how to calculate electricity. And I mean, it looks impressive. That's great. I mean, but if you got a small penis and you're compensating, then you might as well get big, you know, mudder tires and a big lift on your truck and be all squatty truck and all that kind of shit. Like you're going to go down to Baja. You ain't got no trophy truck. You got an old Chevy. I actually opened up one of these, and these were kind of funny because they were hand soldered caps. This one is actually it's a rolled cap. It's all one big thing. But this was a bunch of little capacitor super caps all wired in series parallel. Kind of a piece of shit, especially for the price that they were selling them for. But it's only 25 or 40 farad. This was 50 to 100 farad, and this is really what you want to go for if you're going to do caps. But Maxwell now makes some, and again, Maxwell's shorting you guys, just so you know. They're charging way too much for what those things cost to make. Maxwell, of course, got consumed by Tesla, and it's not because of their technology, it's because of their machinery. That's it. And also, I think Maxwell, they felt was underpriced in the market. Like nobody's interested in those, and they are. So it's like if you can change your formula on a lot of those caps, then you can make them again. Then you get, it's about the size of an aerosol can, and you can make it 60 kilofarad. Yes, 60 kilofarad in a package that size. But you got to have the right formula of carbon nanotubes and bullshit like that. So you can get your carbon from anywhere, from hemp, from what is it, coconut fibers and shit like that. The rest of this stuff is all pretty basic. You saw this before. Oh, and I showed you that yesterday. New pop. Oh, that was the other thing. Pop point of purchase. Again, it's also called merch, as in merchandise. And typically you would buy this at the point of purchase. But because everything is online now, point of purchase doesn't really exist anymore for a lot of brands. And the dealers don't really pay for it. They get it at either a huge discount or free when you buy a certain amount every month. And then it's just free money for everybody and then free advertising for the brand. So, and that's how that works. So not too super spectacular. I love these woofers though. I really liked the rubber surround. I liked the throwback to the large front gasket. This is a hard plastic. I know like in JL, they would use a pressed paper with many, many layers. Or in some, like I think Hart, they used a cork front gasket. Again, the only benefit to that is if you're doing isobaric or if you're mounting it from the back. Otherwise, you don't need it. So so in this case, this just becomes a beauty ring, or also known as a trim ring, and it works great. The only problem you run into is if you use a flathead screw, like a drywall screw, and then you're backing it out. Sometimes it catches the lip and then it pulls that whole thing up, which is trouble, danger. Again, a chrome steel basket, very nice to look at. These would make really, really good home audio subwoofers with the rubber surround, last 10, 15 years, no problem. Big magnet. But for car audio, not so great, just because you guys are, you know, everybody wants the fucking, what's the top one? What's the best woofer out there? I don't know. Like I always reference like the TC5200, or the LMS Ultra, or something like that. Something that weighs like 100 pounds. Like, you know, that's what everybody wants, and they want to pay $100 for it. So, but that doesn't exist, weirdos. I love you guys. I will talk to you later. Bye.